Okay, thank you for staying tuned to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. It's 17 minutes past 9 a.m. and we are saying welcome to the Polity on Udala Radio 104.7 FM Onitsha. My name is Franklin Ibuka and we have once again come together for us to bring you the headlines in different newspapers and then take our conversation from the topical development. And as usual, we have a tradition where we get to bring the headlines from four newspapers before the analysis comes. And we also live on our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. You can use the platform to join this very conversation. We are Udala Radio 104.7 FM on Facebook, on Instagram, and the YouTube. We are Udala Radio, so you can get interactive on those platforms. And in case you're going to be outside the reach of the terrestrial coverage of our radio, Radio Garden, our website, and then the streaming on our Facebook page, we guarantee you that you are not going to miss anything from this very program. So we're saying once more, welcome to today's program. My name is Frank Nibka, and I'm Chison Chinedu. It's in the building.
Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Nigerians. It's a rainy Thursday morning, and I hope that you probably checked your weather forecast before leaving home today, because I did. And I am hoping that you have your umbrellas, your raincoats, your shower caps for my ladies, so you do not get drenched. And of course, try to stay safe. And I hope that the cleanup we did on Saturday, we haven't started messing it up by throwing things in waterways already, because you know what season it is, rainy season. And just like when you throw a ball to the wall and it bounces back to you, in the rainy season, anything you throw into the waterway is a potential danger to you in particular. And maybe worse, people that you actually love, maybe as a mother, your children, because I'm pretty sure that most mothers would prefer that instead of something bad happening to their children, it should happen to them. So when you constitute nuisance, when you become a danger to the environment, if you're able to escape it, your children may not be able to escape the danger that you constitute. Also, today is the 9th of July, yes, exactly 54 days since children went to school in Oyo State, and having since returned, we are still calling on the federal government, the state government, and governments at all levels to do something fast to ensure their safe return.
Okay, so that's our hope that government will be able to do what is needed to be done for them to return. Each time I see women, okay, sometimes when I see women who are caught up under the rain, and I see the way they struggle, maybe they don't have their umbrellas or raincoats. I see the way they struggle, try to cover their head. They don't mind if their entire body get drenched, but that very head is very, very important. So when you mentioned shower cap, it tickled my mind. So let's get to meet Tony Otsambeki, who is going to be doing the analysis on today's program. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning to you, Franklin. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the good people of Southeast. Good morning, in the Anambra. Good morning, in Onitsha. Good morning, in Sumogu. Good morning, everyone under the reach of our voice. Those who are under the rain. There is no sun because it's raining here. I don't know about where you are. For reports, it's not raining in Enugu. It's not raining in Oka. It's not even raining down to Ibariam, but it's actually cloudy. But it may get to them any moment from now. And you are welcome, and then we thank God Almighty for a day like this, another day, a beautiful day. And one thing about life is, it is just fast. Before you know it, time is the most constant thing. It does not in any way delay a bit. Today is the 9th day in the month of July, in the year 2027, and we are observing a lot, and we are talking a lot. And remember, this is our ministry. We are back in our sanctuary, the sanctuary of the Most High, to profess the truth as always, and we will never shy away from this. We will never deviate. We will never be distracted, and we are going to get ourselves committed to this gospel of truth, because what we are bringing to you is nothing but the gospel of the truth. You're welcome. Just sit back and enjoy the program.
Okay, so as you mentioned the weather thing, talking about the rain, because yesterday when I was speaking to somebody in Oka, and she told me that it was raining at that point in time in Oka and Enugu axis. So this very morning, on it, of course, looks cloudy at 20 degrees Celsius. And even apart from this, if you look at the forecast, you see that as from 3 p.m., 4, 5, that's also, I think we also have about 100% chance of rainfall the time when the government has been criticized, accusing the government of insincerity and opacity in its fiscal performances. Then on the national level, yesterday we saw what happened at the House of Representatives. it was a rowdy session because there was a move to summon Mr. President to appear before the House and talk about why there have been delays in releases for the implementation of the budget. Aside that, somewhere in Sokoto, we saw the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, of course, retired. Okay, thank you for staying tuned to Udala Radio 4.7 FM. You're listening to the Polity. My name is Franklin Ebeka. Now it's 9:27 a.m. and we are ready to bring the headlines for today, being Thursday, the 9th day of July, 2026. And I told you initially that Chison Chinedu, Tony Sambeki, they are all seated for today's program. And you can quickly dash to our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM, and get interactive because the video is already up for this very conversation. So this morning, we're going to do a small extension, like we have a 5 papers this very morning, and some of them are covered with headlines on the front pages. And we'll begin with the headlines we have on Daily Sun. The big story there says commotion in House of Representatives over motion to summon Tinubu. That is on page 6. The rider says lawmakers kick against plan to suspend constituency project. Another headline on page 29 of Daily Sun says joint military chief of army staff begs Southeast. On 27, Tinubu hails earlier for job creation through industrial revival, peaceful environment. That's on page 27. And on page 6 of Daily Sun, PFIPC, ADC Atiku reject ICPC probe, insist on independent inquiry. And you now see the advertorial, PBAT door-to-door movement. I think they are sending a message to Mr. President, welcoming him to the inauguration of the National Executive of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu door-to-door movement. So, in the words of that very journalist who asked Fani Kayo at that time, who is bankloading you? So we're also asking them, who is bankloading you? So these are the headlines on the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper.
Right from the Daily Sun newspaper, let's tell you what the Punch says, and of course, or rather, the Vanguard. PFIPC, I'll give documents to DSS, please. Ademi speaking on page 5. The riders are NAS divided, is reps probe fictitious 1.3 billion naira insertion. Senate blocks fresh inquiry. You can't be judge and jury in your own case. Atiku flays Tinubu. Drowning government can't investigate itself. The ADC is speaking. 2027. I might not be alive to contest. Peter Obi speaking on page 14. Rising cost of essentials to push more Nigerians into poverty. That's according to IMF on page 19. It's no rocket science. Defense Minister to troops. Shoot terrorists. Don't wait for orders. On page 8.
Okay, so we now move over to the next paper, which is the Nation newspaper. The headline there, the big story is on page 2. It says senators reps differ on fake agency. So why the Senate is saying that they are going to wait for the outcome of the probe, which has been directed by the president. House of Reps is saying they are going to invite relevant bodies to come and answer questions. They mentioned the Minister of Budget. They also mentioned the budget office, that people from there have to come and answer questions on how the budget was able to sell through. I mean, the budget for the so-called fake.
Let's see the Guardian, or rather the Punch now. The Guardian, yeah? Legal distractions, intimidation, weak in opposition's 2027 contest. On page 6. Nance names 43 institutions and no fund double tuition scandal. How long did it take before the scandalous nature of everything about Nigerian institutions started manifesting in no fund?
Like we do say all the time here that it's not about those who are in power. It's about all of us who are Nigerians, because in one way or the other we are involved. Because I have seen the mindset whereby what everybody thinks about now is, how do I get into any office and use that to enrich myself? How do I use any opportunity or initiative to exploit my fellow human beings? In this country, you will see an opportunity for everyone. that is open. And once you have the information before others, people monetize it. And you keep asking yourself, to whose advantage and to whose disadvantage?
Really sad development on page 4. Ex-policemen reject PENCOM's option B to protest poor welfare on page 30. PFIPC probe divides NASA's ADC Atiku insists on independent inquiry on page 6. Tinubu hails Benwe's industrial growth as Alia commends FG's reforms on page 30. Circle Ventures invests in Flutterwave at $3.25 billion valuation to accelerate cross-border payments on page 18. Senate seeks 15-year jail term asset forfeiture for fake drug dealers on page 2. Uganda Law Society abolishes colonial court traditions, bowing to
today. And like they do say that charity begins at home, we are going to begin from Anambra State, where there is a rating that the government of Anambra State has been celebrating. It's because Anambra State has emerged as one of Nigeria's top performing states in the latest Open Government Partnership Nigeria Sub-National Status Ranking. Anambra attained the 100% healthy status for its implementation of open government reforms. If you look at that very July report, which was released recently, Anambra placed, or the ranking placed Anambra in the highest category alongside Kaduna, Plateau, and each of them scored 100 points under this very open government partnership. They call it OGP. And yesterday I saw how it was shared by the government handlers, and they said that this shows that the government of Anambra State is on the right path when it comes to the issue of openness, transparency, and accountability. And they are saying that this is just the tip of the iceberg. So those who have been calling the government out, saying that it has been very opaque when it comes to management of finances, securing grants, the building of the airport.
Founded by 8 countries, likes of Brazil, Indonesia, Norway, Mexico, Philippines. I think South Africa was part of it, even United Kingdom and United States. These 8 countries, we are the countries that founded this open government partnership. And since then, it has grown to include many national and local governments around the world. The aim is to increase government transparency, fight corruption, strengthen public accountability, even promote citizen participation in decision making, and use technology as well and innovation to improve government services and as well build trust between governments and citizens. Well, one would also ask that every member government.
So we have on phone Honorable Chris Azo, who is the co-chairman of the Open Government Partnership (OGP) in Anambra State. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning.
Okay,
it's
so,
good to be here.
Yes. Yes. How is Abuja? Is it raining there?
I'm in Lagos actually.
Okay.
I'm in Lagos. I left Abuja to Lagos.
All right. So let's talk about this very Anambra emerging as one of the Nigeria's top performers in OGP Nigeria Sub-National Rating. They said Anambra attained the status of 100, which is classified as healthy. What does that speak? Is it speaking to data, or is it speaking to perhaps something fabricated?
Thank you. It's actually speaking to good governance. It's actually speaking to adherence to the. So we are glad that we are actually taking that first position that we've always been taking. Through the instrumentality of good governance practices, driven by the state government, Anambra state government. The former governor had not started it, and when the present government of Charles Chukwuma Soludo, we didn't make any effort to have it, the government agree to and sign up to OGP. So it's a continuity. So what is actually defines is following international best practices in governance practices, transparency and accountability, citizen engagement, applying technology through financial management, the budget process and all that. There's a lot of instruments and tools that you need to actually comply with before you get to this level. So Anambra scored very high. They took time. It's an independent survey, it's an independent assessment. So we need to beat our chest to say that we are doing well. But it's not just an end in itself. It's a process. It's a work in progress. So the benefit, the accolade, for good work or hard work is actually, continuing the process and, to abide on this international instrument. So it's something that is really heartwarming that Anambra has, saved the course and turned the corner in good governance practices.
Okay, so if you look at this very OGP, like you just mentioned, you mentioned some of the criteria for the judgment. You talked about the budget transparency, the fiscal responsibility, access to information, citizen participation, accountability, fiscal openness, digital governance, public procurement transparency, service delivery, rule of law, innovation and collaboration. All these things are factored in this very rating. Now, let's talk about the transparency part of this very rating. I talk about the issue of publication of budget and expenditures, public access to government contracts and procurement, availability of government data and official information. All these things, are they available to people of Anambra State to access? Can people of Anambra State track government expenditure here in the state?
Yes, I can say that for free. It's something that is out there. Even as we speak, Anambra State budget is online. Even the budget preparation. And don't forget, once we talk about OGP, we're talking about the partnership between the citizens and government. It's not just civil society as it were. It's non-state actors. It cuts across. In the steering committee, and what will actually gladden our heart is that there's this principle of co-creation. So that is why I'm speaking about OGP, as well as the government official can speak about it, because it's co-creation. We come together, we start the process from, the level of preparing the budget, that's the budget preparation, to implementation, from formulation to implementation. So this is a round table, between, once you say OGP means government and the people. And I think it's unprecedented. That is why Nigeria signed into OGP as the 70th country. Close to 100 countries of the world now are members of OGP. So we have turned the corner as Anambra State. It is not 100%, you must understand. But all these instruments, all these requirements, we are tested. We had to produce our portal, online portals for budget, procurement portal, e-procurement for that matter. So they start the instruments there, the inputs in the procurement portal, the inputs in the budget portal. So and we are just being on the right course. It's an independent survey they did. It's an independent assessment. They only ask you to provide the information. They go test it. If it's correct, then they do the scoring. Anambra came out first, actually. Because if you look at the chart, we came first. It's from areas we were scoring 50 over 50, 100 over 100, 20, But to tell you the truth, there are some gaps here. So it's work in progress. It's not an end in itself. It's a process. You are pursuing me to get to the end, which is, absolute good governance.
Okay.
So these instruments have been tested. They are there. In the budget process, the citizens and the government sit together. You have a budget committee. They call it bilateral discussion. We use the instrument of the Citizen Charter of Demand, TCD. All you have to put in Anambra State budget must be approved by the citizens. It must come from the citizens. They go to communities. What do you want? What do you want your government you elected to do for you? They make those inputs. Then government will come. You may not have all the resources, but you must follow that input made to the people. It's a demand-driven approach. So that is where we are.
So if these things are being done, like you just mentioned the budget process, how people impute into the budget. So if these things we are done, and at the same time we now have this very rating coming from the OGP that Anambra is healthy when you talk about this open government. Now,
Yes.
what do you say about people who are alleging that there is this opacity in the fiscal management of governance in Anambra State? They have highlighted the issue of the ongoing second airport somewhere at Ndikeliong, and people are alleging that it wasn't captured in the budget, and they are wondering where the fund is coming from.
That's why I'm telling you. I think sometimes people make statements without actually interrogating the process fully. Okay? The year's budget has been presented, and it is left for citizens to look at those loopholes. I'm not saying it's 100%, but in terms of budget transparency, Anambra as a government, through the instrumentality of the OGP and other instruments, even STABA, DERA, the ease of doing business, they are compelled to post all these items on the website, on the portal. So it's open. And through the access to information, you can only be asked critical condition. It's not anybody making it up.
Okay. So maybe it will be important that these various sites where people, or these very portals where people can go and get this very information, perhaps they should be publicized more so that people who want that information will be able to feed on it. Then, before my colleague comes on, in the area of access to information, as a player,
Yeah.
as a player in the CSO, and also someone who interfaces with government, how easy is it for people to get information from the government? Because we are looking at the area of implementation of the freedom of information law in Anambra
Yes.
State. When people request for certain documents or information from the state government, how long does it take for people to get that? Is it timely? Do people have easy access to government document and report without some restrictions?
And my response to that is that we have tried it, it has worked. And if you become very realistic, the present information architecture in Anambra State has, remarkably improved. Even while I'm in Lagos, I got an invite now that even the Commissioner for Information is calling stakeholders together to make input, to help the work, to give them more access to information. So it's something that, and the thing good about OGP is that you willingly accede to it, you sign up. Nobody is forced you. You are the one saying that you are not compelled. So even the ones who are talking about laws, what is even more important? The one that the leadership have said, we accede to this, we sign up to this. No compulsion, no prodding, that we want to give out information. The area that we are concerned again is, just like you said, there is need for capacity. There is need for more sensitization. I think you made a point there, which, the biggest room in this whole world is that room for improvement. So there should be room for improvement. Giving people more access, making the information readily available, and educating people, enlightening them on the processes. The Freedom of Information Act, the federal government has procedure. I hope you know that. This morning we were even discussing with our sister of decision, Sarah, on their request on the federal government to show cause, to make revelation about why an organization that was purportedly illegal had the budgetary allocation. I hope you know that. Sarah, even as this morning we are having a discussion on arrest.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM.
Ya onye na-ere Malta Guinness, wetakwa otu bọtụ Malta Guinness ọzọ. Guinness ole ka chọrọ ịṅụta.
Nwanne m, ọ bụrụ ịmaghị maka ihe nrite goodness Dunlad nke ndị Malta Guinness. Anaghị m aṅụ mmanya niile a na nkịtị o. Achọrọ m iji ya wee rite ihe nrite dị iche iche dịka fridge, TV, generator, standing fan, instant airtime, ya na ezigbo ego. Gwam, otu a ka ihe nrite goodness Dunlad nke ndị Malta Guinness si dị. Naanị zụta Malta Guinness gị, mepee ya, skanụ akara ya, itinyezi akara dị n'okwuchi bọtụlụ gị. Ọ gwụcha, ị nwere ike irite ego ruru nde naira 2 na ihe nrite dị iche iche ruo ngwụcha Ọgọst.
Chai Ikenna, ebinyego m uche anụ nwa kemgbe. Bịa, onye na-ere Malta Guinness, wetara m bọtụlụ Malta Guinness na.
Malta Guinness, nourishing goodness for every side of you.
Malta Guinness.
That small mosquito will you just pursue? It don't look like anything, no. But if it make you sick for days, malaria still day, and prevention day your hand. Tonight, before you sleep, enter your net. Protect yourself.
104.7 Udala Radio.
You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, thank you for staying tuned to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. You are listening to the Polity. My name is Franklin Lebuka, Tony Lisambeki, and Chison Chinedu. All of us are together, and we're talking about the Anambra State rating on open governance. And we have online the co-chairman of Open Government Partnership in Anambra State, Honorable Chris Azo. He's been on phone responding to questions, so he's going to hear from Chisom.
Honorable Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning, my dear.
All right.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. And I hope you're doing well too. I'm going to be asking you first about the design or the picture that was put out by Open Government Partnership Nigeria. The first thing you'd see there on that picture that is supposed to carry, or that has a breakdown of the states and the scores, is Open Government Partnership Nigeria Subnational Status Ranking July 2026. And then a disclaimer follows. It says this result does not reflect the level of transparency and accountability in states. Rather, it shows performance on indicators agreed to represent how active states are in subnational OGP implementation. Could you please explain that? Because a lot of persons have centered their understanding of this entire thing on that simple caveat.
Okay, I think I got what you're saying. The idea is they want to be clear. It's just like if you're putting out a disclaimer that this statement, this assessment is not solely to show that you are maybe number one in transparency, you are this and that, maybe to beat your chest. But if you look at it deeply, performance is based on your thematic areas and commitments. What are the thematic areas? Anambra thematic areas, we are on OGP 2.0. Our first thematic area is transparency, accountability, the transparency through the budget process, which we assess. Our budget has always been online. Our budget has maintained, consultation with citizens and all stakeholders. But if you come down, it is citizen participation. If you want to be transparent, you must bring in citizens to see what you are doing, that you are not hiding anything. And this is what we have done measurably. We have what we call the Citizen Charter of Demand, CCD. Anambra performed so well in Citizen Charter of Demand that other states are calling us to educate them, to guide them, to handle them in how we've been able to achieve it. Okay? Before any budget formulation, we go to community and ask them, what do you want your government has devoted in to do for you? They give us their list order of preference. That is what we call the Citizen Charter of Demand. It is this Charter of Demand you bring to the MDA, and we form a budget.
Morning. And one of the topical things we have now is that the issue of intimidation of opposition and harassment is on the front burner again. It's on the front page of Guardian newspaper. And if you read through, you will see that apart from litigations, the interview that P2B went for recently is one of the issues referenced, because in that very interview, P2B said that the government of the day is intentional about ensuring that opposition is subdued, and he even made a statement that people are beginning to react to. I saw Bayon Anoga reacting to that very statement, and some other persons. Some persons said that he was lying. But some person said that if you look at his face on that very interview, that he wasn't lying. He was talking from the point of heart. Perhaps we're going to hear from Peter Obi now and then begin the conversation to know whether actually there is a target against opposition, or perhaps this is one of the things we do see when it's political time, where everybody throws in anything to be able to get the sympathy of the people.
Not even candidates. I might not even be alive. I'm telling you. Every single thing I do for a living, this government is frustrating it. Deliberately so. Everything. So there's even possibility if they have opportunity, I will not be alive. It's an accusation. I know I get frustration every day because you do things that you think they will be normal. It is not normal any longer. They will come directly and say, oh, we're doing this, but you could see their hand in everything.
So the government is attacking you personally?
Attacking everybody who is in opposition personally.
Right.
I'm being attacked personally. Everything. Even to provide me with necessary things that I should have been entitled to. Not at all. I had a case recently at the airport where people who work in the airport came and locked my car. And I said, it's me. The person on the side said, it doesn't care. But I said, look at the cars of other people. And you could see them talking to each other, as if, who is this one? We have divided the country, breeding hatred among us. That's why I keep saying, I want to bring back unity where there's division. I want to show love, compassion, care. It's gone out of here. I said, I'm looking at somebody. He locked my car in front of me and saying, you're not supposed to park here. But there's cars here. So what is the exception to my own? Should the Anansi people I know at the airport, they will not greet me because they are fearing that if they greet me,
they become targets of the government.
Thank you. And I have people send me invitation and say, my daughter is wedding, but please don't come.
We are Udala Radio.
Udala is a very tough place when it comes to politics. It's not because we have President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president as we speak, but we are presidents that have never for once bullied opposition. But even when they don't want to bully opposition, you have the lieutenants bullying opposition. We've seen this over time, and it is left for the person to call out these lieutenants and tell them, stop this. I remember during the time of Jonathan, that was the time we were preparing for the 2015 election. There was a time DSS invaded APC technology hub in Lagos. They invaded that very place, carted away with some devices, computers, and some of these things used to coordinate information. And the APC came out and lambasted Jonathan. But we saw his lieutenants. They were overzealous. The ones we call cabal. The cabals were detecting a lot under Buhari's administration. They were intimidating opposition, but one would also think it was Buhari. But Buhari's action exonerated him at different points. Even under Peter Obi as a governor of Anambra State, he did not also handle opposition. He did not handle opposition with kid glove. He was also tough on opposition. I remember when the Labour Party chairman at that time, somebody was saying that he denied them. Because if you look at it, as we speak right now, we saw what happened in Abuja. A minister of the federal government came out to tell oppositions. In fact, it was as if he has enthroned himself as the attack dog of the government. He said, and I quote, that FCT will not allow any political party that is not registered or not recognized by INEC. I think he will not register, not recognized by INEC, to hold any form of conference, rally, elective convention. And I spoke loudly and said he has no such power. People can even hold rally, whether they are recognized by INEC or not. There is freedom of association and there is freedom of assembly. We must not be a registered political party registered by INEC for us to hold a political gathering. It is not. And when they came out, I was saying this, and everybody kept quiet. Even the very factual. But are you telling me? I'm just giving you an instance.
So is that the hand of the president inside it?
That I will not say. Because I told you, I gave you instances of former presidents and how they came out to either denounce what their lieutenants had done or try to extricate themselves. And I gave you instances, I gave you a case study of Jonathan, where he's over serious lieutenants.
So from what Obi said, is this something that should be treated in the realm of politics? Perhaps he was trying to be hyperbolic, because in politics, of course, you have to do anything you want to do to be able to get advantage ahead of others. Would you say that what he said on that very interview could be placed in the realm of political statement, or perhaps there should be much attention paid to him because he said he might not be alive to contest the election?
I think probably he should explain what he meant by he might not be alive. I have not. The last time there was an attack on his personal life, that was when they were in Edo State. When they had gone to see former APC National Chairman, I think John Odijo Yegun, and they were around his house. Before you knew it, some criminals opened fire on the cars parked outside. And it was on major national dailies that Obi's life under attack. If you are to draw from such incident,
Give me for buttoning that way, that has over time led to things like this recurring in the system. I mean, from opposition being sort of attempted to be strangulated at some points, and then to the point of possible issues such as what we have witnessed. I recall in the administration of the former president, there was the talk of baboons and something in body bags.
Oh, it was El-Rufai that said that.
Yes, it was in the administration of the previous.
Yeah, it was during the time of Buhari.
Muhammadu Buhari, right? And El-Rufai made that statement. And that was targeted at the opposition, if you recall vividly.
Exactly.
And now, this statement Obi has made also indicating a target on the opposition. And I am curious to find out, over time, I haven't heard anywhere in our constitution where this is pronounced illegal and accurate punishment given.
Well, for me, I have said it many times that these accusations, these insinuations in supporters, this thought by some people that the president wants to make Nigeria a one-party state. And if you look at it, some would tell you that the way and manner some governors defected to APC, many were actually pressured to defect. In fact, if you look at the case of Governor Diriduyi of Bayelsa State, and also Governor of the other states, many of them, these states were before then predominantly PDP states, but you saw how they were able to move and then join APC. In fact, as we have it now, many of these governors are in APC, but they are still saying that the president is not even relaxed or contented with the defections, but he would want situations whereby the election would be a walkover for him. But these allegations, but you know what? In all of this, no institution hounded Trump. I remember when Trump was doing his campaign, there was an attempt on his life. Yes, in fact, there was a gunman that shot him. In fact, the bullet nearly pierced his. I think he got his ear. We saw blood. But government of Biden was committed to get the gunman arrested. And the gunman was arrested. Investigations were made and it was discovered it wasn't coming from the Democratic camp. It wasn't coming from that. But it was somebody who thought he never liked Trump and the way and manner he was ranting. So for them, they had their own toxic political environment. We wouldn't say they do not have. But here in Nigeria, where it is state-sponsored or state being involved, it becomes something of great concern.
Okay, so Tony, we have to release this in respect to the budget. And then the lawmakers were then making a point of playing to the gallery.
Well, you asked multiple questions, Frank, but let's begin by saying, has the House the powers to summon the president? But then it must be rooted in one thing. It should be to expose corruption. But then if you are to summon Mr. President to brief the country on certain things, if the president decides not to come, two things are involved. Because the idea, you must link it to corruption. Yes. Because that's the idea. Because the Constitution gives the National Assembly power to summon anybody in as much as it is to expose corruption. But one can also link this into corruption, because if appropriations have been made and releases were not done, and where it was the release or non-release of funds for constituency project, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Remember, the issue of constituency project is also unparliamentary. It is just a tradition, but it's unparliamentary because at a point, it was, I think, the Speaker of the House who went on to say that inviting Mr. President to appear before the House is unparliamentary. That's not true. It's not true. There's nothing unparliamentary about summoning Mr. President to appear before the House in a way to expose anything, corrupt tendencies, corrupt practices. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, because if you look around, there was Accountant General's circular halting some payments, including constituency projects and also broader execution challenges. Because I know very well that lawmakers like Honorable Benedict, and others put for accountability and made complaints of unpaid claims, reportedly around 1.5 trillion naira, and impacts on security, constituency. But just as we know, the Speaker ruled against directing or directly summoning the President, but approved an ad hoc committee probe. They are concerned about issues relating to winning election, because if you can link this, you can understand that, yes, capital or constituency projects were not funded in 2025. Many of them do convert the constituency because they are not the one to execute it, because some of these things are tied to agencies, parastatals, ministries and departments to execute, but they have a working relationship with these people. They can also monetize it. We have seen situations like this. Their own is how to prosecute the next election. If they had talked about summoning Mr. President directly before it to talk about insecurity, talk about kidnappings and the appropriations meant to defense, how these things have been executed, the Oyo school children abduction that have been in captivity, I will be here singing praises, clapping for them and saying, of course, they have woken up. But for the fact that they are summoning Mr. President to appear before it on the issue of non-release of funds for constituency projects, I'm totally against it.
Okay, Tony.
It's totally selfish.
Well, it's totally unfortunate. Like you pointed out, we have so many issues on ground. I mean, this is exactly 54 days since children went to school. And after that, children have been taken away from another school. People writing SSCE exams, if I'm not mistaken. And at the time that your school children were taken...
Very well that government seems to be on autopilot where anybody can do anything. Budget seems to be a formality. It's just be a ceremony.
Seriously authentic.
Quality bread, Wendy's bread, for your family breakfast. Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, Mama, Papa, they like Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, even children, they like Wendy's bread. Wendy's bread, and in town, Wendy's bread, you get the better tasty, we go sweet your belly. Wendy's bread, Wendy's your battery choma. Wendy's bread,
Wendy's bread, tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, 2nd Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside CPS, Onitsha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza, Atani Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread.
Wendy's bread.
You see that nylon for your hand? You want drop am for ground, abi? That's so it start. One person, two people, before you know it, everywhere done dirty. Drainage go block, flood go come. Do the right thing. Find a dustbin, throw them well. Keep your area clean.
104.7 Udala Radio.
Agencies. Equally important is the support of traditional rulers, religious leaders, community leaders, and the general public. It is important, again, for those that will handle this equipment. These equipments cost billions of naira that could have been used for other aspects, but have been dedicated to do this. So I want to charge you that we must maintain this equipment very well. We will come after a year and see how these equipments are looking, because we don't want to hand them over and then you throw them away or you mishandle them and they become bad within a few months. They must serve the purpose they are brought in. And I want to reiterate this to all members of armed forces and security forces. Once you are deployed, do not wait for any order from anybody to shoot any bandit or any terrorist. I want to make that very loud and clear. Anybody who refuses to shoot or kill any bandit or terrorist in the name of his waiting for an order, we will treat you like a bandit. Federal government, the state government, the local government, and indeed Nigerian taxpayers' money is what is used to buy this equipment.
You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, so it's time for you to get involved on today's conversation on Udala Radio 104.7 FM Onitsha. My name is Franklin Ebekatonyo Lisambeki, and the Chisom Chinedu, we are together. And that voice you listened before the week came in, I was the voice of the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musai, retired general. We know how he was appointed the minister, and yesterday in Sokoto State, when the governor of Sokoto State donated about 65 armored personnel carriers to the security agencies, that was where he gave the money. He said, if you are fighting on the war front and you come in contact with with a bandit, do not wait for you to get order from anywhere before you shoot. If you fail to kill, we are going to treat you like bandits. So does that suppose that that allegation of complicity and sympathy for these very guys, that's element of truth in that? We're going to find out from you now. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Get involved this very morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Francis.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Josh, calling from Asaba.
Josh, let's hear.
Yeah, you see, tell you something, yeah. We are not practicing democracy in Nigeria. We are just depending on ourselves. Because why am I saying this is that if you see everything that is going on now, I'm sure the sign that the last time he actually won the election. Because why was he only him? We decided to actually more over that. Let Nigeria let us know what we are doing. Let us know what we are doing. So we are not doing the right thing. So how we are doing democracy. How we go forward to come out and call us to go and vote. And then at the end of the day, what are the options there? You do exactly what you want to do. This is not what happened in the last election. When we were part of the country, the presidential people that is not vote for us, you leave our state. And this is not happening now. This is the type of situation that will be expensive in Nigeria, and then they will say that we are fighting democracy. They are still repeating. We want only one tenor in this country. Only one simple tenor. Sometimes we used to say Nigerian president has the most powerful president in the world and all that. Now I start disbelieving that because some powers is being given to the National Assembly, but they don't want to use it. They don't want to use it because why? Majority of them now we have benefits. You understand? Their selfish interest is number one thing that they are sitting there for. Now jumping up and down, someone Mr. President and all that, so they know that they have that power. So someone Mr. President and all that, and they are keeping that power. Now it has affected them because they need that money to carry out their election, the upcoming election. That is why you see them jumping up and down there. Yes, the thing that is affecting Nigeria, they cannot talk like a cat and rat in that assembly ground. They will not do it because it is not their interest. Their interest is that. I must say to me, until we begin to ask questions, if really Nigerian president is the most powerful president in the world, that power that belongs to the National Assembly, where do they keep it? They should go and bring it back so that we will have a good democratic government. To me, you see the country, it is better we stop calling it Nigeria and start calling it a republic. Federal Republic of
because in different places of Nigeria, they engage in protecting people who siphon our common inheritance. That in Zamfara State, the illegal mining is going on in Borno State. the mining of uranium. Uranium is going on there. We know that there is a particular country that is being pointed under the protection of Boko Haram. The people that invaded so many military bases kill soldiers and gather their weapons.
Okay,
why
Randolph,
should
please.
the soldier allow themselves to be used in protecting such people? Every time we talk of them, they keep on telling us that they are repented people, that they need every support. Using Nigerian money. Bible says, he will the military are protecting them while they are dying. And the people who gathered away, even married women
All right.
and the young
Thank you.
girls,
Thank you.
at their very young age.
All right. Thank you. Hello, good morning. Okay, try again. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694.
Good morning.
It's me, calling more.
Okay, go on.
I want to say, whatever that interview, not a political statement. That if you look into it, guys, you will see that he's talking about personal. See that he is pain. You understand? I want that kind of politics in Nigeria. You understand? I know that in his own time he was trying to talk to or bring down position, but it was not as level to this kind of level that we are being seen or being manifested by this administration of this government. As long as the president has not come out to make a statement against it, it shows that he stands in it. They said, as many as they don't make mention of when Mr. Jonathan came out and apologized. So that's how it is being running. You know, I don't know why what he's doing.
So I just want to say that nothing should happen to Mr. Peter Obi. That's just the simple truth, because Peter is not just any other Nigerian. It's not, you cannot say he's Igbo, he may be Igbo, Hausa loving, Fulani loving, Yoruba loving. He's a man that is accepted across board. So it's not an issue of trying to lock up his car or this or that. But the fact remains that beef up security around it. Stop all this hanky-panky, trying to, stop him, channeling all your resources and energy on how to stop him. I mean, you can't stop him.
That's why I support Dr. Mbeki in his call that there is need to strengthen our institutions, although they will not be headed by angels, but these same people. We are our own problem. Ekegonas Madueke says, Mr. President, or the House of Representatives, they haven't summoned him. They wanted to, or one person moved for them to, and it was shut down. Spence AGK, my question is, the CSO accountability issue being talked about in Anambra, is the federal government involved in the adoption of its transparency model? And the city man says, I hide my face in shame for our National Assembly. They've never bothered to summon the president about the insurgents in the country. They are after their pockets. We need to have a National Assembly in this country. City man, he said we do not have a National Assembly in this country. City man from Nsue.
Okay, so Tony, let's quickly talk about this very well. We played the audio of the Minister of Defense asking troops and any other security agencies who are fighting terrorism and insecurity in the country to shoot without getting an order. So does it mean that when they're in the battlefield, before shooting, when they encounter bandits?
Health-related issue. But my point is, whatever we do, because I had preached this, once you get to a checkpoint, if you have a tinted, you should wind it down, bring it down. And the police can make a thorough search. Whether you have it or you don't have it does not in any way prevent crime. The most important thing is that there will be, it's not even, because even if you have a normal glass, police will still have you, ask you to wind down. True of us.
True.
Then when you have a tinted, why wouldn't you also be asked to wind down? Let the police do what they're supposed to do.
Tony.
See, we should be very serious in this country. Not because if you look at it, you have open office for police.
Exactly.
We can
open office for them.
We can expand. We can expand this some other time, because
maybe.
The issue of this very take glass, it can be taken from different angles. Yes. Like a policeman could be at a small distance. If you are driving a transparent windshield, he might see a movement in the car.
Okay.
But if he's tinted, if you're making any movement in the car, he won't see you.
Let me say this thing.
So we can expand it later.
We can expand it later. Let me also say this.
We're totally out of time.
The policeman who is seeing your movement in a motion vehicle, I wonder what he's seeing. Let's be real, because even the front one is not even tinted. But the most important thing, just like you said, we can expand this.
All right. So at this point in time, we thank you for joining today's conversation. Tomorrow is going to be another edition of this very show. So we ask you to stay with us as we continue with our broadcast for the day, because by 11, we are going to remind you of those tunes you listen to, maybe growing up or you listened to about 10, 15, 20 years ago. On that very note, we ask you to stay with us.